Hello there, good afternoon, a very warm welcome to this special FA Cup edition of Football Special. All our action from yesterday's third round of the FA Cup. Our main match is Halifax Town against Manchester City, and we back that up with some really first-class encounters between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, and also Birmingham and Southampton. We open, though, at the Shea, Halifax Town against Manchester City, Division 4 against Division 1, and a fixture which really does sum up all the charisma, all of the magic of the FA Cup. Although much of that magic happened a long time before the kick-off. After the midweek freeze, the ground was solid, the prospects dim. Then came the thaw and a different problem for the Halifax ground staff: how to mop up a swamp. Well, referee Michael Lowe of Sheffield inspected the pitch twice on Friday and again at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. He still wasn't satisfied and gave the ground staff 2 more hours to continue the mopping up. At 11 o'clock, he made a second inspection and said the match was on, if only just. And we can now pick up commentary from Martin Tyler.
So it's Manchester City we see first, 4 times winners of the FA Cup, but today facing all the uncertainties of this classical cup tie confrontation. And here are Halifax, 11th in the 4th division, enjoying a vastly improved season, and this afternoon hoping to add to the catalogue of cup upsets. Halifax have to make one change from the side which has won them through to this third round. Top scorer Peter Burke is suspended, so Bob Mountford is recalled up front. Only 3 of these players have appeared in the first division: Jeff Hutt, the sweeper, defender David Evans and Paul Hendry in midfield. John Kilner's spectacular form in goal has been crucial to Halifax's cup run. He was signed from Preston and today faces Mick Robinson, his friend and former colleague, who returns to the Manchester City attack after injury. But City are without 4 senior defenders: Booth, Donachie, Butcher and Stepanovic, so Tommy Caton and Nicky Reed, both teenagers, are paired together in the centre of the back 4, with City today relying on a 4-4-2 formation. George Kirby, the Halifax manager, in the centre there of their dugout, has added to the familiar cup themes of superstition and ritual by this week sitting his players before Romark, the hypnotist, Romark, who claims to have put a curse on Malcolm Allison. Malcolm, in fact, completes a year back at City today and has stressed the vital importance of a good result here to the rebuilding he is undertaking at the club. The Shea is certainly one of the league's more unfashionable grounds, but the prospect of this intriguing cup tie has attracted an all-ticket crowd with a limit of 16,500. The referee, Michael Lowe, who's inspected the ground twice this morning, he said he's virtually lived here for the past 24 hours, but after a lot of work from the ground staff, there's a lot of water still on the pitch, but the game is on. Halifax attacking the goal to our left in a real classical cup confrontation. 4th division against 1st division, the poor of the Football League against the rich. City in their change strip of red and black stripes. And here's one of the 3 teenagers in the back 4, Nicky Reed. Dave Evans with the header. This is Mick Kennedy, an 18-year-old for Halifax in midfield, finding Mountford. Stafford trying to judge it, and turned away by Ray Ransom. Mick Kennedy is the long throw specialist, and Halifax look to get men in at the near post. Harris is one. Mountford, Hendry! Well, Paul Hendry, with just a minute gone, within a whisker of giving us a sensational start. It came from the long throw from Kennedy, which was won by Harris, who was loosely marked. Mountford was competing, Henry with a volley that was wide. John. Across to cut out the danger of Shinton. And Robinson, the 2 men up front for Manchester City. Halifax playing with 3 up. Firth is one who got the touch there. And 2 of the Halifax front 3 are orthodox wingers, Firth and Stafford. Hutt. Down from Daly. Here's Tony Henry. Now for John. Daly darting into the box. Robinson is there as well. And Bennett trying to set up Robinson. Henry. Still not clear. Bennett. Robinson. Hacked away, I think, by Kennedy, who's gone down. But a skirmish there. It really is an indication of what's to come in this cup tie. The mud making it difficult for everybody, causing errors. Halifax unable to get it away until finally, after Bennett had made a run trying to get to the byline, Kennedy put it out. Kennedy, at 18, an outstanding prospect for Halifax. Harris, back from Henry. Only Stafford for Halifax. In by Daly. City's natural inclination to play from the back will be with them today on a pitch like this. Corrigan kicking every time the ball's in his hands. Foul by Ransom. Striker the ball, taking the free kick, going to meet it, in front of Henry. Well, it was a straightforward enough free kick. Mountford muscled his way in front of Tony Henry, header off target. Evans and Smith going for the same ball. Through to Hutt. Payton's header. And Reed beating Mountford. There's Hendry. Smith. Stafford playing it in quickly. Almost slithered across to Mountford. Stafford. Firth is on the far post. Power. Been trying to turn it behind for the corner. It went in Corrigan's direction, but he couldn't stop it going out. Stafford wasting no time in putting the ball into the danger area. I think a bit lucky. It was a corner anyway. Mountford is 9 for Halifax. Just in front of him, 5 is Harris. Dipping all the way, and it's hit the post. Kennedy's corner. And it went all the way across Corrigan and came out off the post. Again from Halifax. Harris with a touch. Away from Hendry. It was out from Ransom. They slither and slide. Smith was caught offside. Kennedy's corner. And it bounced off Hendry's knee. Evans with the header. Here's Steve Daly. Cut out by Hendry. He's got Firth to his right. couldn't get the ball into his own path. Here's Tony Henry for Manchester City. Stafford tracking back with him. Another good one from Harris. It was Evans who had to tidy things up. Away from Hutt, only as far as Nicky Reed. This time not the sort of ball forward he was looking for. But a youngster, great promise. Mark Allison certainly putting his faith in his young defenders today. Stafford, only finding Ranson. Pete, straight to Henry. Back pass from Reed, almost giving Manford some hope. You can see rain falling, which will only make conditions worse. Had there been a lot of rain this morning, there's no doubt that the game wouldn't have been played. Power. Here's Shinton. George Kirby has been so quick to praise John Kilner's performances this season, and the young goalkeeper at his most alert as Shinton flicked on Power's cross, and fine handling of the greasy ball. Harris having a look to see if the back pass was on, and in the end finding the pitch beating him. Ball by Smith against Robinson. Two players who know each other. In fact, Mick Robinson really took John Smith's place at Preston, and he got a regular berth in the side. Ranson. City on the edge of the box. Here's Daly. Bennett. Payton going on. Nothing defensive about City today, and here's Robinson, beaten away by Kilner. Bennett driving it back, away by Harris. Oh, fine reflexes from Kilner again. And it skims off Evans. Halifax pen back. But it was brilliant work again from Kilner as Robinson met this on the volley. Manford was fouled, takes the free kick quickly himself. Reed across to stop Kennedy. Kennedy, who was born in Manchester, sees himself as a Manchester United fan, so there's an extra incentive to try and put one over on City. And the volley was from Evans, from Perth rather. Right in there, and Perth and Evans both swinging at it, and Corrigan having to make the save. Corrigan is able to cope with well from Stafford's corner. Here's Viljohn. Bennett on the far post and just turned away from him by Dunleavy. Daly. Away from Hutt. It's a City throw. Here's Reed. Again, Halifax pushing out quickly. Header. We've had 45 minutes of the first half. There'll be a little time to be added on, particularly for Kennedy's early injury. Way back when the ball dropped. Over Robinson, field from Smith. And there indeed is the half-time whistle. The end of the first half, which has really lived up to its billing. John Kilner has made two fine saves as Manchester City have shown their attacking class despite the difficult conditions, and at the other end Joe Corrigan too in good form to deny Halifax, and that really is the reason that at the Shea in this FA Cup third round tie we have a goalless first half. Half-time, Halifax Town 0, Manchester City 0. And 85 for the visit of Spurs in the fifth round in 1953, which was Halifax's last real cup run. And today's crowd have had an interesting first half to watch. The players not only have had to do battle with each other, but with the conditions as well. No goals in the first half. Manchester City now playing from right to left. Only gone out in the third round twice in the last 14 seasons. If there was any doubt about their willingness to compete in these less than glamorous surroundings, they've certainly been dispelled in the first 45 minutes. Here's Mountford. Kennedy. Smith. Touched on by Shinton. Backhander was from Evans, which puts a little bit of pressure on Hutt. Paul Hendry playing it forward. Joe Corrigan, who along with Paul Power have happy memories of that defeat at Shrewsbury, the fourth round last season. Back from Dunleavy. Chris Dunleavy, who began his career with Everton but never got into the league side. Push by Stafford. There's another Mancunian. Actually was on schoolboy forms for a while with Manchester City. The back pass. Corrigan, who was on his way out to collect the ball, wasn't a great deal of room between defender and goalkeeper. More margin for error. So Halifax again congregate on the near post. Kennedy looking for Harris. Hendry with a second chance. Well, that is a well-rehearsed ploy, looking for Harris at the near post. He caused the confusion, and Hendry had two bites at it. The first one was blocked away by Robinson, and the second one, under pressure, went wide. Space, and Dunleavy's back pass was so nearly a gift for Shinton. It looked initially as though the ball forward from Reid was going to pick out Bennett in space. Ran away from Bennett there. Dunleavy saw the goalkeeper but didn't see Shinton. Haven't got into the fourth round of the FA Cup for 11 years. Just under half an hour to try and accomplish it this season. Mountford, straight to Viljoen. To his left, and Robinson to the right, but I think the players ahead of Viljoen were quite sure what was meant by the pass. Think forward by Power. Pushing into the back of Shinton. Going towards Robinson. Daly. Halifax pushing out, the flag is up. He had 5 men in a line, and Hendry will not be allowed to get away with taking the free kick from that position. Dave Evans, who just had 2 First Division games for Aston Villa, but did play once in the UEFA Cup for them against Barcelona, where he was given the task of marking Johan Cruyff. Breakout. Powering on and finding Viljoen. Shinton wanting it to the near post. Reid was right forward as well. Here's Bennett. Robinson struggling to reach it. And Shinton! Well, Kilner certainly deserving of all the applause. There was a real mix-up in front of him after Robinson's header. He had 2 defenders going in each other's way. Shinton's toe poke, brilliantly saved. Pushing, and the referee was well aware of that. Here's Bennett. And past Hutt, past Kennedy. Only Mount forward. Halifax are going Here's Stafford. It's a style of play that has served Halifax well in the 4th Division. They play with 3 men in midfield and pull their flank men back to augment that. Makes them a difficult side to beat. But in the last quarter of an hour here at the Shea, they've really got to be looking for a winning goal. And perhaps Henry has found it. Well, it came right on cue. From Paul Henry, the Shea erupts in delight. Stafford drilled it in. Smith laid it off. And Henry, keeping his balance, the smallest player on the field, tucked it into the corner. So, what City had dreaded is looking more of a reality. One felt that the biggest problems for them might come in the earlier phases of the game. But here's Robinson for them, put behind by Harris. And City certainly survived those early scares, and now have to come from behind. Anxiety on the face of Malcolm Allison and Tony Book. Here's Firth. Away from Reed. Washington. It's a nice little chip too for Robinson. Summoned again to take the goal kick. It helps use up a little bit more time, but certainly he does have the power. Kennedy collects the loose ball. It was held off by Ranson, and in the end, Henry's challenge, and it's all spilling over now. The frustration of Manchester City. Kennedy taking time to pass a word with the Manchester City bench. He might have had a free kick for the first of 2 challenges by Ranson. And in the end, it was Henry who brought him down. Mountford is offside. 2 minutes left. Time for the Manchester City bench. Here's Viljoen. The Halifax bench willing the time to pass. Daly. Viljoen. The crowd want the final whistle. There's some 2 minutes left. From Firth, but not really great strength. Harris's header was a good one. Kennedy, perhaps too casual. Daly, and Kilner slipping as he came out. And Robinson almost with a chance to turn it in, or turn it back across the face of the goal from a tight angle. Certainly not giving up the cause, Mick Robinson. John Kilner on his way off his line. Took a while to get into his stride. Bolton. Daly. Now Robinson. And it's a goal kick. And that was agony for the Halifax dugout. Mickey Bullock, the nearest to us, George Kirby's assistant, doing the pointing, and nearly allowed Manchester City a last gasp chance then. Here's Henry. Tapped out by Halifax. Payton struck Robinson, and Daly. Well, it was so close for Manchester City. Malcolm Allison and Steve Daly. Kilner was beaten. Giving chase. We've had a minute of injury time. Shinton. City certainly not giving up without a fight. The referee's looked at the watch. George Kirby out of the dugout. He knows that there's precious few seconds left. Manchester City go off dejected. Paul Hendry is the cup hero for Halifax Town. There he goes, hair is ruffled. His goal, quarter of an hour from the end, puts First Division Manchester City out of the cup. And for Manchester City, a disaster following on last year's defeat by Shrewsbury of the Third Division. Now they tumble out to Fourth Division Halifax, who show just why they're an improved side this season, why they've done so well in the Fourth Division.
1-0.
And now they beat Manchester City. They go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup for only the third time since the war. The final score at the Shea, Halifax Town 1, Manchester City 0.
So a really great result then for Halifax Town, surely destined to be one of the shock results, I would think, of this season's FA Cup competition. Manchester City, indeed, the first Division side to go out of the competition this season. Well, after the match, Malcolm Allison, the City manager, was fairly distraught. He wasn't happy about the state of the pitch. He wasn't happy either about his forwards, but he declined to appear on Football Special. Well, Malcolm Allison may be unhappy, not surprisingly, but you can't say the same about the two men with me now, George Kirby, the manager of Halifax Town, and Paul Hendry, the man who scored that all-important goal. Silly question, George, how do you feel? What does this mean to you and to Halifax Town?
Well, for me personally, I'm delighted. You know, I'm delighted to win. It's probably the first time that I've been into the fourth round with a Football League club. I'm delighted for my players because they proved today that the confidence I've got in them is not ill-founded. I'm pleased also for Roma because he came along and he put his reputation on the
magician,
line.
yes.
Yeah.
Did that work? Did that help at all?
Well, I think it did.
Really?
And everybody else did. So that's the important thing, is the belief. And I'm delighted for the fans of Halifax, you know, because for the last 4 years, Halifax Town has been on the drop.
Yeah.
And now this season, not last season, this season we've come up. And I'm delighted for everybody, especially the chairman who works very hard.
Talking of magic, Paul, in fact, you almost got off to a dream magical start with a goal in the very first minute, didn't you?
Yeah, it was nearly my first touch. The ball dropped about 6 yards out, and I hit it really well. I hit it.
Yeah.
But it just went past the post, half volley, which they should be goals, they should be.
Yeah, but you got the goal, the all-important goal, of course, in the second half. We can see it now, and perhaps you'd both talk us through it. Yeah. Here we go.
Well, as I said, Nicky Kennedy has got a long throw, and we always leave him to take the throw-ins. He throws out the line to Bob Mountford. He does well, he holds it up there for...
And he lays a good ball back to the lad we call Torchi, you know. And his problem is he usually plays the ball too early, but that particular one he played a good ball in. This is a wonderful little touch there by John Smith, you know. It's really like a Keegan Brooking effort. And of course Paul put it away. If Keegan had put one away like that, he would have been proud of it.
Paul, what did it feel like when you realised you'd got the goal?
At first I froze, like, and then it really hit me. I'd scored and I ran off, and a few of the lads tried to run after me and catch me. I think they caught me at the halfway line.
You missed playing in an FA Cup final once by 7 seconds, didn't you?
Yeah, that was when I was with Birmingham City.
Yeah.
We went to 2 games against Fulham.
But you're catching up with some of that now, aren't you?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. George, we must talk about your goalkeeper, John Kilner, because I thought he was absolutely superb. Several saves in the first half, and especially in the second half, a magnificent save from Bobby Shinton. Didn't let you down, did he?
No, he didn't. You know, he's been playing like that for the last 5 games. He's been playing, as they say, out of his skin. And he's such a good lad, and he's such a good hard worker that he deserves every success he gets.
Yeah.
Last season, I had him on loan, and I said to people, in 2 years' time, this boy's a first division keeper. And today he proved it. You know, he proved me right in every sense of the word.
As a manager, your feelings for Malcolm Allison, the Beaton manager?
Well, one of the nicest things about the game was, as I was walking down towards our dressing room, Tony Book called out to me, said, well done, George, good luck, hope you get something well in the next round. I haven't seen Malcolm, but, you know, if I don't look too elated, it's because even when you win, you know, you've got to think about the people who lost. So I feel sorry for Malcolm. The only thing I can say is that it'll probably mean that he can motivate his team even more now.
Yeah. Who do you want in round 4?
Well, I don't mind, really. I played for Everton for many years when I was a youngster, and I've never been back there. So I'd like Everton, but my players would like either Liverpool or Man United, fools as they are.
Paul, Liverpool or Man U, is that what you'd like?
Yeah, at home.
At home,
yeah.
Yes. And a celebration, obviously, for both of you tonight, I would think.
Yes, yeah, we'll. They don't know it yet, but they might be in training tomorrow morning.
And so you've got no chance. No. Well done to the pair of you.
Thanks very much. Hope to see you again soon.
Well, more cup action for you in just a moment, but first, let's catch up on the news regarding the other football special teams involved in the third round yesterday. Leeds United, I'm sorry to say, are out, beaten 4-1 at home by Nottingham Forest. Frank Gray gave Forest the lead after just 58 seconds against his former club, Leeds United, of course. Gary Birtles made it 2-0. Ian Bowyer made it 3-0. Kenny Burns then put through his own goal to make it 3-1 and give Leeds a little bit of heart and confidence, but it didn't work, and John Robertson, in fact, popped in a 4th for Nottingham Forest. So Leeds are out, so too are Bradford City. They were beaten 3-2 at Carlisle, who've now knocked out 3 football special area teams so far in this season's FA Cup competition. In fact, Bradford City led twice in this match, first of all through Steve Baines, and after that through Terry Dolan. Well, Grimsby's FA Cup ambitions came to a rocky end at Liverpool. They were beaten there 5-0. And Mansfield are out as well. They were beaten at home 2-0 by Brighton. Steve Taylor of Mansfield sent off in that match. So we've only got Halifax Town left in the cup competition this season. It's a bit sad. Must just mention 2 non-league teams. Altrincham, they held 2nd Division Orient 1-1, and also non-league Harlow drew 1-1 at Filbert Street against Leicester City. A fine achievement by both of them. Right, on now with the FA Cup action and the game between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United. Spurs really trying to recapture their sparkling form of the early season, but facing a very tough task against a Manchester United side lying 2nd in the 1st Division table. Well, the pictures are from London Weekend Television. The commentator at White Hart Lane, Brian Moore.
Is still there. Thomas again with the corner, curled in there. Chris Jones getting up but didn't quite get a touch to it. Wilkins trying to get a touch to it. He didn't also. Bakari there, and it's still not in. And it was very nearly Wilkins who got the final touch. And now here's Thomas onside for a goal kick. Too heartily involved there. Maybe not as light-hearted as I at first thought. And Bakari just being called across for a quick word, and Miller as well. as the warning is observed. And a free kick for Tottenham. And it's going to be Steve Perryman with it. Hit towards Villa. Now towards Gibson, who popped up there with a header. Chris Jones there. Gibson trying to get in once more. Ardiles with a chance! Throw. Got it on there towards McQueen by Jordan. Comes out for Koppel. He blasted that well. Newton got in the way of it though. Wilkins now trying to go all the way. No, a little pass here for Jimmy Nicholl. Crossed in once more. A deep one towards McQueen, who was pushed. And a penalty, I think, has been given. Yes. The push on Gordon McQueen planted the ball on the penalty spot. There's the push, and it looked a good one. It looked a good penalty. And now it's a question as to whether McElroy, well, I think the yellow card's coming out first for too many Spurs protests, and it might be Ardiles, the hero of a moment ago. Indeed it is Ardiles who gets the yellow card for protesting too vehemently about that penalty. Well, I wonder how many people would care to be in Sammy McElroy's shoes at this moment, or indeed in the shoes or boots of Amelia Alexei. So, here we go then. Further delay, the ball not properly on the spot. Bring up the temperature a little bit more. McElroy now. 1-1. Ardiles. Oh, he did well to beat Houston there. And Tielemans somehow had it saved at very point-blank range by Gary Bailey.
Well, that was a pretty narrow shave for Manchester United, but they get a replay. That's at Old Trafford on Wednesday night, kick-off 7:30, and one would think now that Manchester United must be the favourites to progress into round 4. Well, more action now from the third round yesterday, the game between Birmingham and Southampton, a really difficult one to predict. Birmingham challenging hard for promotion from Division 2, but Southampton meanwhile lying 4th in Division 1, having a really good season. Well, the pictures here come from ATV. The commentator at St Andrews is Hugh Johns.
Kerbishley, 1-2 with the Southampton players. Boyer couldn't get away from Dennis. Todd. Worthington. Good ball to Dennis. Willie Johnson running inside. Here's Johnson now. Trying to get away from his men. Sliding tackle then from Golak, which has stretched Willie Johnson out. And he does a couple of toe-touching exercises to make sure everything is still there. And climbs back to his feet. Sun now illuminating the penalty area. The ball down, Birchin, and Birchin stabs it into the back of the net. 1-0 Birmingham City. Just over 7.5 minutes gone. Well, the man whose leg was broken here in a cup tie, a League Cup tie against Southampton last season, gets on the end of this goalmouth Barney. Southampton unable to get the ball away. And there's Birchin, toe poking it into the back of the net. A fine goal for Birmingham City. Holmes knocking it into Boyer. It's Holmes again. Oh, and watch for Shannon. This is looking dangerous for Birmingham City. Shannon is coming in far post, and the only man against him is Mark Dennis, who's much shorter and is not able to...
Manchester City game, they were given the number 13 for the draw. Perhaps that was an omen too. They wanted Manchester United or Liverpool. The first division team they got are hardly so glamorous.
29.
Bolton Wanderers.
30. 23.
It's a good game in prospect. You know, they're a good side and we're a good side, and it all makes for a good Roses match.
What about this hypnotist? Is he going to feature in your preparations again?
Well, I don't know. He did say his parting words to me on Saturday were, "I see you at Wembley," but I didn't know whether he meant I had to give him a ticket or not.
So Halifax away to Bolton in the 4th round. Well, Leeds United had what was generally regarded as one of the most exciting draws in the 3rd round on Saturday. They were home to Nottingham Forest. They got beaten 4-1. Forest's first goal came after just 58 seconds, and it was scored by the former Leeds player Frankie Gray. This is how Nottingham got their second.
So Eddie Gray with his kick as they approach the final minute of this first half. Chance for Leeds to draw level, but Bowyer got blocked it. Hampson. Oh, and that's taken away by Francis. He's only got Madeley and the goalkeeper to beat. Leeds had pushed right forward, and there's Birtles linking. Birtles versus Lukic. He's wide, but it's in. 2-0 to Nottingham Forest, with the Leeds defence stretched out of sight.
In the FA Cup on Saturday, their opponents were Liverpool, and they were playing at Anfield, a formidable proposition for any side in the country. But Grimsby are nothing if not optimists, and they certainly travelled in hope. On the way to the ground, Grimsby lacked nothing in confidence.
Oh, the lads will do well. You know, we're a team, so why shouldn't we do well? There's no goals going to be in mine anyway. That's a good start.
And behind that confidence were 10,000 Grimsby supporters, all hoping for a soccer miracle as well.
I've done a lot of things, but never fallen a horse.
The atmosphere was more like a cup final for the Grimsby coach, which needed a special escort to get through the crowds. It was a long way from the average 3rd division game, but for most of these players this was the biggest moment of their careers. Even their normally unemotional manager was moved by it all. As for his team, the reception was overwhelming.
Brilliant. Oh, it's fabulous, isn't it? Listen to them. Like, just listen to them. Magic, don't they?
Think you're going to enjoy playing here? How can you fail?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, we're not fools. You can't come here and declare that you're going to thrash Liverpool off the field, but I know that the players are well set up to do their job, and they're good players, and they'll enjoy all this.
They like the atmosphere, will they?
Well, they'll take it in the stride, and they'll give all they've got, and if it's not good enough, it won't be good enough.
Sadly, the Grimsby salute turned out to be the last time their supporters had much to shout about. The Liverpool machine was on its usual form. Grimsby didn't stand a chance. Graham Souness scored the first and his first of the season, while at the other end, Grimsby's inexperienced attackers were making little impression on the Liverpool defence. Apart from the rare Grimsby counter-attack, all the play was in the opposite direction, with Dalglish on top form. The second goal came before half-time from David Johnson. Grimsby fought bravely, but the nearest they came was this attempt from Clive Wigington. In the second half, the Liverpool supremacy continued, the 3rd goal coming again from Johnson. The 4th was another typical Liverpool goal and Johnson's hat-trick. By now it was like a practice match, and Jimmy Case hit the most spectacular goal of the game to make it 5-0. At the end, the Grimsby players had learnt a hard lesson about top-class football. But with over £100,000 in the bank from their various cup games this season, the club are not too unhappy.
Certainly Grimsby had a good run for their money.
Bennett. Peyton going on. Certainly nothing defensive about City today. And here's Robinson, beaten away. Here's Bennett. Robinson struggling to reach it. And Shinton.
Well, this is the jersey that John Kilner wore when he played so splendidly for Halifax against Manchester City last Saturday. We've cleaned that mud off it, and you can win it if you look closely at these 4 clips of action featuring goalkeepers.
And now it's Hurst against Banks, and Banks has saved it! Cleverly, Bob Robson. Little chip in for Keith Robson. Great save!
Easy to be wise afterwards and say it wasn't right, and that was a good save.
Ian. Comes for Tony Brown.
So 2 questions to win John Kilner's jersey, and we've given you a start there. But who were those 4 goalkeepers, and what is the connection between them? Who are the goalkeepers, and what is the connection between those 4 goalkeepers? Answers to me, a Calendar Sport, Yorkshire Television, Leeds LS3 1JS. And John Kilner himself will be drawing the winning card in a fortnight's time, when we'll have a special preview of Halifax's 4th round cup tie against Bolton.
And as we look at the team that day, we get an idea of...
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Football Special, and those great little cup fighters Halifax Town are featured in our main match on the programme this afternoon. Remember, in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, they had that marvellous 1-0 victory over Manchester City. That winning goal scored by Paul Hendry.
But in the last quarter of an hour here at the Shea, they've really got to be looking for a winning goal. And perhaps Hendry has found it.
Well, yesterday in the 4th round of the FA Cup, Halifax were again drawn against First Division opposition, this time Bolton Wanderers, and this time away from home. And that's our featured game on the programme this afternoon. But we've more really excellent cup action for you as well, from Cambridge versus Aston Villa, and also Everton against Wigan. We open, though, at Burnden Park in the game between Bolton from Division 1 and Halifax from Division 4. And Halifax, though, really fancying their chances against the team languishing at the foot of the First Division table. Commentary now from Martin Tyler.
Quite a day for 18-year-old Malcolm Goodman, who here at Burnden Park faces First Division opposition in his first FA Cup tie for Halifax Town. Goodman replaces the suspended Dave Harris at centre-half. But for Peter Burke, the suspension that kept him out of the triumph over Manchester City is over, and he returns to the Halifax attack. Otherwise, it's the same Halifax side which performed so heroically in the 3rd round, and Bob Mountford drops down to substitute. 19-year-old Mike Carter wins a place in the Bolton front line in preference to Alan Gowling, who asked to be dropped. Carter, who played 18 league games for Mansfield during a spell on loan at the back end of last season. Bolton also recall David Burke at left-back in place of Peter Nicholson, but Nicholson was called back into this side this morning when Dave Clement failed a fitness test. Out too is Len Cantello, so transfer-listed Neil McNabb plays in midfield. Ian Greaves on the right, the Bolton manager, his assistant Stan Anderson on the left. For Ian Greaves, who's one of the nicest men in football, but really for him today a critical test, a result of critical importance. George Kirby on his feet, who was relaxed when I was talking to him before the game and thoroughly enjoying the cup run that has brought the spotlight onto his side. The ground is in good condition today, softening after recent frost, but in the goal mouth to the right, the frost remains in the shadow of the stand there, and the toss-up was in fact conducted in the dressing room so that Jim McDonough, who will defend that goal in the first half, could put on the appropriate footwear, which in the end is a short stud. So referee Terry Farley from County Durham, waiting to get this 4th round FA Cup tie underway. Bolton, who have only won twice all season, once in the First Division and once in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. And they haven't won here at Burnden Park since August. And they're in the white shirts and black shorts. And the trip by Burke on Burke in the first seconds. Peter Burke, the offender. David Burke, who went down. Mike Walsh will take the free kick. A match in which attitude will be every bit as important as skill. And here's Malcolm Goodman winning the first header. The question mark will be against Bolton's morale after their depressing run in the First Division. Roy Greaves. Jeff Hutt, who's the free defender for Halifax, putting it out. Halifax who get them quickly behind the ball and try and stop the opposition having space to play in. And here's Carter. And Bolton are incensed as referee Farley waves away the players. Bolton thought they had a penalty. It was a really positive run from Mick Carter. It was Hutt challenging. And Carter went down. A tackle may have been made just on the outside of the area. No penalty given. Goodman has gone up on the near post, as Dave Harris does. He's on the Halifax side. A touch from Smith. Hendry. Here's Firth. Hendry again. Burke's header. Now Stafford goes down quickly by three Bolton players, and Reid takes a tumble, and Paul Hendry is trying to receive the yellow card for the challenge on Peter Reid, flying in well after the ball had gone. Reid, of course, so tragically injured New Year's Day 13 months ago. And Paul Hendry, who was a hero against Manchester City, starts this game cast in the role of villain. Beaten by Evans. Greaves. Allardyce's ball forward, and it might come through for Carter. Kilner hesitating, and then clawing desperately at the ball, making a brave save. Well, it's Mike Carter who's causing the early problems for Halifax. And John Kilner initially hesitated, but when he came, he was positive, and the touch was enough. What more for Peter Nicholson, who continues his run and pull the ball back. Nicholson, another non-serving player here at Burnden Park, actually played for Bolton in the early 70s against Halifax here when both sides were in the third division. Long throw in a defensive situation. Here's Greaves. And Burke getting ahead of Firth, who in the end completes his task as marker. Roy Greaves' pass almost coming into the stride of David Burke, but Firth got back with him. header from Allardyce. Here's Firth. Brought down by the late challenge from Allardyce, which was clumsy rather than malicious. Firth, I think, was quite happy to go down because he'd actually run the ball out of play. Goodman and Dunleavy on the far post for Halifax. Here's Evans. Hendry's determination getting there first. Now Reid. Carter again showing well. And slipping Goodman. What more going to the near post. And the cross in the end. Just too close to the goalkeeper. And another flash of skill from Mike Carter. Turning away from Goodman in splendid style, and you could see him looking up to see what was on in the middle. He tried to place the cross in, but it was just too close to Kilner. Stafford. It was a slow drop to the ground, but it was enough to win Halifax the free kick. And they freely admit that the majority of their goals come from set pieces. Usually works slightly better than that. Here's Firth. Burke. Smith. It's Bolton's turn to defend at the moment. Firth. Kennedy. Walsh across and hoping that it'll run behind for the goal kick. Allardyce. Back from Burke. And Levy again, Morgan's shadow. Tony Morgan, who knows about Halifax giant killing. He was in the Manchester United side that went out of the Watney Cup in a famous Halifax victory back in 1971. Going with Burke. And here's Nicholson. Getting it back from Reid. And the cross. Yeah, disappointing, Peter Nicholson. Who perhaps isn't as gifted going forward as Dave Clement, the man who he's standing in for. But he worked the ploy well with Peter Reid. Never stopped running. It just took a deflection, actually, that suited Halifax. And certainly Halifax will be pleased with the way this first half an hour has gone. The prevailing feeling of optimism amongst their players suggested that the draw was in their minds here. Here's Kennedy. And the throw to Halifax in that sort of position, it's almost worth a corner to them. If Kennedy can cope with the sun and the grip on the ball. Here's Burke meeting it. In goes Goodman. They're playing an accurate cross, and Reed, knocked back for Greaves. So Bolton score a goal that's greeted with a cheer that has more than a note of relief in it. Nicholson's cross, and Halifax couldn't get it away. It was laid back by Watmore, and Greaves striking it on the half volley so crisply. 1-0 to Bolton. 31 minutes gone. And Bolton's longest serving player comes up with a goal which is so important to the morale of his side. Ian Greaves, his face is now etched with the worry, really, he's had as manager here at Bolton. But no sign of it at the moment. Surely inwardly delighted that his side have scored first. Watmore, taken up by McNabb, who's getting more room as this half wears on. Morgan, Reeves and Reed in the middle, and it's Goodman who kept his composure. Certainly effective clearance from the 18-year-old, with Watmore waiting behind him. It's Watmore now on the near post for Bolton. Here's Walsh. Goodman, promising for Bolton, and the youngster is getting back. Three minutes to go to half-time. Here's Morgan. As far as McNabb, and Halifax pushed out, but not effectively enough. Morgan, here's Carter. Well, I'm not sure whether it went behind a Woodward goalkeeper from Mike Carter. It was a moment that really could have killed off Halifax. Morgan, aware of Carter's positioning, and struck with great power, touched away. Here's Reed. Allardyce turning, but with a chance to play it in again. Blocked by Burke. Here's McNabb. Halifax for a square in a line, but this time it worked for them. McNabb's pass was delicately angled to try and get a man in behind. Halifax pushed out. It's Morgan. He acknowledges Morgan's run. Evans. Carter. Goodman trailing. Kilner's got to come. And he's rolled it wide. Well, twice closing minutes of the first half, Mike Carter's had chances to open a gap that might be too much for the 4th Division side. The speed and coolness was there, the accuracy wasn't. Goodman, as far as Watmore. Reed was chasing in on Hutt's back pass. Stafford chasing. onside. He played 15 seconds of injury time. The referee has his watch out. Stafford with the corner. Smith it was who put it over the top. And it's a question really whether the referee had blown for a free kick. Stafford's corner. There was a lot of bodies around Jim McDonough. He could only palm it down, and leaning back, John Smith put it wide. And the placing of the ball suggests that really was the best chance Halifax have had in this half. And it came right on the half-time whistle. Roy Greaves scoring the only goal of the first half, coming at an important time for Bolton after Halifax played their part in an even first half an hour, which might just have been eating away at Bolton's confidence. But their longest-serving player came up with the only goal of this first half. Half-time at Burnden Park, Bolton Wanderers 1, Halifax Town 0. Attacking the goal behind which are massed their supporters. Over Evans, up the covering player, taken up by McNabb. Here's David Burke. And here's Carter, again tight skill, again so close. Future ahead of him, given the room that he would expect in the first division to set himself for the shot. Again, not finding the target. Evans in smartly for Halifax, and he's got to be committed forward more in the second half. Nicholson there before Donlevy. For Morgan, and brought down, but Watmore goes on, and the referee was giving Bolton the advantage. As Halifax were cut open down their left, Nicholson did well. Morgan was fouled there by Hutt, but it seemed that Watmore was in until Evans cut across to clear. From Stafford. And play on, says the linesman, and Kilner handles outside. Well, that's an interesting experience for John Kilner, because he complained to George Kirby this week that he'd been booked for coming outside and doing just that in a 4th division game, and he saw Peter Shilton in the League Cup semi-final in the week get away with it. Well, John Kilner has got away with it on this occasion. Wanting the 4-man wall back. Reed, arm raised, has got Allardyce and Greaves on the far post. Whitman again winning an important ball in the air for his side. McNabb. Reed. Flag up this time, offside against Burke. Well, Ian Greaves looks on philosophically. Nicholson will take the free kick. Away from Dunleavy. First touch for Halifax. Here's Kennedy. Yellow shirt springing forward. Too long from Goodman. And Walsh was looking for McDonough, and then saw out of the corner of his eye Burke filling out the back pass. Here's Goodman, who was sent flying by Greaves after the ball had gone, but Smith going on. There was a moment's hesitancy in the Bolton's defence. McDonough had to make the save because the player went down. It was Goodman, but Smith took it up, and his shot was arrowing towards that top corner until it met McDonough's fingertips. Now in pursuit. We'll get there before Evans. Was designed to run into the path of David Burke. Evans now almost presenting a chance to Bolton. It is only denied by Goodman's intervention at the expense of a corner. The Halifax captain, who seemed to have got possession back for his side, Goodman had to put it behind. Kilner both going for it. Here's Hendry. Bolton still looking for the second goal, which would surely settle the tie. Here's Carter. Again he's picked away through. Again he's just an inch or two away from the finish that he wanted. Was almost originally going to fall into the stride of Peter Reid, but Carter turned and made room for himself, but again missed the target. Well, a quarter of an hour from the end of this tie, and Paul Hendry in the third round scored his goal against Manchester City just this point. Been impressive, but he couldn't up then. Carter got the touch for Bolton, then Watmore. Reid showing his strength, and beautifully worked with Watmore, and no penalty. And Watmore and Reid turn on the referee. He's reaching for the yellow card for the vigorousness of the protest. Who played their way through the Halifax defence. Francis Firth getting back. No penalty was the referee's verdict. Watmore has spoken too long and too strong for Mr. Farley. His name goes into the book. Half now in which Bolton have felt aggrieved about not getting a penalty. So Halifax survive. George Kirby, essentially the Halifax bench. Has certainly been much closer than it might have been, because Bolton really could have had the game wrapped up in the first half, but they might wrap it up now with Watmore. Away from Hutt. A shake of the head, a wry one from near Watmore. It was a Halifax mistake that presented him with possession, but his angle was growing tighter. Deeper corner from Morgan this time. charge from the Halifax defenders, who still haven't got it out. Bolton have men to spare on their left. Morgan is one. It was deflected by Hutt in the end. They're living on a wing and a prayer at the moment, Halifax. Being forced away from the danger area, and that will give the 4th Division side a chance to regroup. It's not really what the Bolton supporters wanted to see, though. Walsh. And all the way through to Carter. Experience at the end from Hutt. It's just those sort of passes forward that Firth loves to chase. Bolton have denied him. A win here for the 1st Division side, even against opposition from lower down the scale, would be so precious. Home games without victory, which is really quite remarkable. They still lead only by that single goal from Roy Greaves. Left. Again, Halifax look to feed off Mick Kennedy's long throw. Goodman is forward. Peter Burke is there too, and again the ploy falls down because of Kennedy's execution of the throw. The yellow card. He has been in the wars in the second half, Peter Reid. Dave Evans said in the week that if Bolton fear the 4th Division opposition, it's because they tend to kick everything that moves, rather living up to his pre-match promise there. Little character, Peter Reid. He's involved again. Here's Hendry as Halifax looked for a counter-attack that would give them a precious replay, but Goodman's mistake, nearly letting in McNabb. Flailing legs from Hutt rescued the situation, but here's Stafford. And the bounce of the ball going Bolton's way. Stirring finish to this game. There's Dunleavy, and the second touch was vital for him because Reid had not stopped running. He's an experienced defender, Chris Dunleavy, and his instincts served him well. Away from Hutt, only as far as Carter. minutes left for Halifax to keep their cup dream alive. Paradoxically, really, 7 minutes left for Bolton, the first division side at home, to hang on to get a rare home victory. But they'd love to finish the game in style to make it a more convincing success. Here's Nicholson and Carter. Carter turning it away. Nicholson missed his kick. Morgan, can he place it? And that struck Dunleavy as Bolton again wants a penalty. And the ball on that occasion clearly seemed to strike the defender's arm. There was no real evidence of an intentional move on Dunleavy's part. Bolton will surely claim after the game that the penalty decision's gone their way. Things would have been a bit more convincing in their favour. But here's David Burke. And here's Watmore. Well, it epitomises their problems in the First Division. Bolton, particularly at home, where they've drawn 8 league games, just haven't made the most of chances that have come their way. It's been the same story this afternoon, and again, Watmore the offender. Lovely flick from Reid. McNabb. Here's Carter. Allardyce calling for it on the far post. The low cross for Watmore, and that might have been the easiest of the lot.